In Iran, faith is both ancient and embattled, a story far older than the Islamic Republic itself. Beneath the surface lies the little-known saga of Christianity, a faith that has survived empires, revolutions, and now, open conflict. How does a minority faith endure in a land where its expression can be perilous? This is not just about theology, but about the resilience of the human spirit. Today, Iran's Christians face a crisis layered with legal restrictions, social discrimination, and now, the chaos of war. Yet, in hidden rooms and whispered prayers, hope persists. Their story is one of quiet courage and unwavering belief. This journey is about more than hardship. It's about discovering how faith survives, even when stripped of every comfort. To understand Iran's Christians, we must look back nearly 2 millennia, to when apostles like Thomas and Thaddeus brought Christianity to Persia. These early believers became part of the nation's fabric, building ancient churches and contributing to Persian culture. The arrival of Islam in the 7th century changed everything. Christians became a tolerated but restricted minority, paying special taxes and facing new limitations. Despite cycles of peace and persecution, Armenian and Assyrian Chaldean Christians preserved their faith and identity. Today, these historic groups are officially recognized, but only if they remain within their ethnic boundaries. Converts from Islam, mostly Farsi speakers, are excluded from this recognition and face the harshest persecution. The echoes of this ancient divide still shape the lives of Christians in Iran today. Iran's legal system draws a sharp and unmistakable line between those who are officially recognized and those who are not. The country's constitution acknowledges certain religious minorities, but this recognition is tightly controlled and comes with significant limitations. Historic Christian minorities like Armenians and Assyrians are granted a handful of rights, permission to maintain their own churches, operate schools, and even hold a token number of seats in parliament. These communities have deep roots in Iran, and their presence is woven into the nation's history. Yet these rights are surrounded by strict boundaries. Services cannot be held in Farsi, the national language, and any form of outreach or evangelism beyond their own ethnic group is strictly forbidden. The state keeps a close watch, ensuring these communities do not cross invisible lines. For Farsi-speaking converts to Christianity, the situation is far more perilous. The law offers them no protection at all. Conversion from Islam is not only discouraged, it is illegal, and recognized churches are explicitly barred from accepting converts into their congregations. These converts find themselves in a legal and social limbo. They have no official place to worship, no recognized community, and no legal protection. Even possessing a Bible in Farsi can be grounds for arrest, interrogation, or worse. This dual system creates a deep and painful inequality. While historic minorities worship under the watchful eye of the state, Farsi-speaking converts are forced into total secrecy, gathering in private homes or praying alone, always aware of the risks. For many, faith becomes a clandestine act, something to be hidden from neighbors, friends, and even family. The authorities often view these secret believers as threats to national security, branding their faith as subversive. The simple act of gathering with others to pray or read scripture is fraught with risk. Surveillance, informants, and sudden raids are constant threats, forcing much of Iran's Christian population to practice their faith underground, away from prying eyes. In this landscape, faith is both a lifeline and a liability, a source of hope and strength, but also a reason for fear and caution. For Iran's Christians, every act of worship is an act of courage. For Christian converts in Iran, life is lived under constant watch. Every day the sense of being observed is inescapable, shaping even the smallest decisions. Simple acts, like meeting a friend or answering a phone call, can carry hidden dangers. The fear of exposure is ever present, making daily life a delicate balancing act between faith and safety. The government's surveillance is relentless, phone calls monitored, gatherings infiltrated, neighbors pressured to report. Security forces use advanced technology and human networks to track suspected converts. Even a casual conversation can be twisted into evidence, and the threat of being watched extends into every corner of life. House churches, the heart of the movement, are illegal. These secret gatherings are often held in living rooms behind drawn curtains, with Bibles hidden away at the slightest hint of danger. Every meeting is an act of courage, as believers risk everything to worship together. Raids can happen at any moment, with leaders facing harsh interrogations and imprisonment. the fear of a knock at the door never truly fades, and many have endured long nights in detention, separated from loved ones, and uncertain of their fate. Beyond state persecution, social discrimination is severe: jobs lost, children denied education, families torn apart by accusations of betrayal. Converts are often shunned by their communities, and the stigma can follow them for years, affecting every aspect of their lives. Converts often face ostracism from their own relatives, leading to profound isolation. The pain of being cut off from family and friends is deep, and many struggle with loneliness as they try to hold on to their faith in secret. Every new acquaintance is a potential risk. Trust is rare and precious. Friendships are built slowly, with caution, as a single, misplaced word can have devastating consequences. The need for secrecy shapes every relationship. The pressure is designed to break spirits and dissolve communities. Authorities hope that fear and suspicion will erode the bonds between believers, leaving them isolated and vulnerable. Yet, despite these obstacles, the underground church continues to grow, fueled by a deep hunger for spiritual truth. In hidden rooms and whispered prayers, hope persists and faith finds a way to flourish. Their resilience is a testament to the power of conviction. Against overwhelming odds, these believers hold fast to their faith, inspiring others and proving that even in the darkest circumstances, the human spirit can endure. For children of Christian converts, life is a balancing act between two worlds. At home, they learn about Jesus and experience faith in secret. Outside, they must blend into a system steeped in Islamic ideology. School means mandatory Quran classes and rituals that contradict their private beliefs. A careless word or song can endanger their entire family, forcing parents to teach not just faith, but secrecy. The psychological toll is immense. Children mature quickly, learning to guard their words and hide their true selves. Underground networks provide vital support, helping families nurture Christian identity amid daily indoctrination. These children carry a heavy burden, but also a quiet strength. Their silent struggle is a powerful testament to the cost and courage of belief. With public churches closed to them and the threat of persecution ever present, most Iranian Christians find sanctuary in house churches, hidden sanctuaries tucked away behind ordinary doors, blending into the fabric of daily life. These are small, secret gatherings in ordinary homes where faith is practiced quietly but passionately, away from the watchful eyes of authorities. These underground communities are built on deep trust and shared risk, with no central authority to target. Each group is a close-knit circle, bound by faith and mutual protection. Isolation is common, as members often keep their faith secret even from neighbors and friends. Yet, so is courage. Each believer faces the daily reality of danger, but also the hope that comes from spiritual connection. Leaders risk arrest and harsh penalties, yet they continue to create spaces for worship and fellowship. For many, house churches are lifelines, offering not just spiritual guidance but emotional support and a sense of belonging. These are places where believers can be themselves, share burdens, and strengthen their faith together. Meals are shared, prayers whispered, and stories of hope exchanged in hushed tones. The decentralized structure offers some protection, making it harder for authorities to dismantle the movement entirely. But this also means resources are scarce, and leadership is often limited to those willing to take the greatest risks. Despite the dangers, the movement grows steadily, as more Iranians seek meaning, hope, and connection in these hidden gatherings. The gatherings are driven by conviction and the deep human need for community, a place to laugh, to cry, and to find strength in one another. Every meeting is an act of defiance and hope, a quiet stand against oppression and fear. In whispered prayers and shared meals, faith is kept alive, and the bonds of community are strengthened. Here, believers reclaim their spiritual freedom, finding peace and joy in worship, even in the face of adversity. The house church stands as a symbol of resilience, a testament to the enduring power of faith and the human spirit. It is proof that faith cannot be extinguished by force, and that hope can flourish even in the darkest of times. In these hidden rooms, the church truly lives and breathes, sustained by courage, unity, and an unbreakable spirit. In Iran, community is survival. House churches become surrogate families, offering emotional and practical support to those cast out by society. Members pool resources, share information, and care for each other when jobs are lost or loved ones arrested. Access to Bibles and Christian materials is scarce, so the community becomes the main conduit, sharing, copying, and distributing what little they have. This underground network is a lifeline, nurturing faith and hope in the face of isolation. Every act of care is a quiet rebellion against a regime that seeks to crush their spirit. In gathering together, believers find strength, solidarity, and the assurance that they are not alone. Even in darkness, the light of faith endures, shared, multiplied, and unbroken. The 20,000 Sensansao, the Soitonin, or Jaingon. .6 bombings have plunged Iran into chaos, compounding the dangers for Christians. Airstrikes and blackouts have shattered daily life and cut off underground networks, leaving believers isolated and vulnerable. International leaders call for peace, but inside Iran, recognized churches remain silent. Speaking out could mean severe retribution. In times of crisis, minorities become scapegoats. Christians, seen as tied to the West, face heightened suspicion and risk. The threat now comes from both outside bombs and internal repression. For Iran's Christians, survival means navigating suspicion, violence, and the constant fear of being targeted. Their faith is tested as never before, but their resolve remains. Despite persecution and war, the story of Christianity in Iran is one of unbreakable spirit. It's found in the father who whispers Bible stories to his children, the young woman who finds family in a house church, and the leader who emerges from prison with renewed faith. Hope, here, is an active choice. To sing, to gather, to believe, even when it's dangerous. These small acts of love and sacrifice form a tapestry of endurance the state cannot unravel. The future is uncertain, but the history of Iran's Christians is proof of their perseverance. Their faith, tested by fire, endures. In the darkest nights, their hope is a promise of dawn.